Tutorial time! Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it because I actually don't have an intro. Oops! I'm first starting off with some moisturizer. This one is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is called the Magic Cream. It's one of my favorites. Next, I'm going in with some eye cream. This one is from Kylie Skin. Don't neglect your lips. And then I'm taking my Anastasia angled brow brush and I'm pinching the bristles together to get it nice and compact so that when I draw in my brows and I do the hair strokes, the lines are going to be a lot more clean. Alright, now I'm cleaning up the bottom edge of my brow with BECCA, what is it called? BECCA Aqua Luminous Concealer on a Morphe M421 brush. But yeah, look at them brows, they look good. Now for some soap brow, I'm taking my L'Occitane vegetable soap on a wet spoolie and I'm brushing the hairs of my brows upwards. That's Celestine. And this just adds more texture to my brows so that they don't look as sparse. There isn't really much of a technique here, just upward strokes to the brow and then use your finger to press in the hairs and kind of lock them in place. Next up, I'm priming my skin with Tatcha Silk Canvas. I'm putting it on the back of my hand and then I place it where I have the biggest pores. So for me, that's what you see right now, like the inner part of my cheek, and then on my nose, my forehead, and my chin. And for now, I just dab it onto those problem areas. But after I apply it, I'll take my fingers and I'll pat it in. Alright, I'm taking my Born This Way foundation in Golden Beige, a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'm applying it using this Lorac contour brush. I just do one layer, one even layer all across my face, which this brush actually lets me do very, very easily. Then after I apply, I'm going to blend with a damp beauty blender. Just bounce, 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 all of that in. And then taking a little bit more of that same foundation down my neck. Very important. Don't want to forget that, otherwise you're going to look like a crazy person. Time for some concealing. I'm using my favorite concealer on the whole entire planet. I've gone through tubes and tubes of this. This is the BECCA Aqua Luminous Concealer in the color Medium. And I'm just going to do some highlighting, some covering of any discoloration, dark circles, stuff like that. So first, taking that concealer under my eyes and doing a little triangle shape. Then I also take it around my nose where I have some redness. My forehead, which honestly makes such a big difference. I have no discoloration here, but I do want to bring in light to that part of my face. And then down the center of my nose and just the very, very tip. And my chin. And then blending everything out, turning it into skin. Okay, so before I set my under eyes with powder, I always have to make sure that no creasing happened up on me. That makes no sense. But I'll just go in one last time with my beauty blender, pat out any creases, and then I'll take the beauty blender, tap, tap, tap into my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Powder in the shade medium, I believe, and I'll just do a light amount under my eyes. And also taking that powder and putting it where I have some large pores, just to smooth out the area, make them look a little bit less visible. This powder is really, really great for that. Alright, next I'm doing a super light layer powder all over my face just to get everything prepped for powder contour, powder blush, powder highlight, all of that. A little bit more lip balm. Alright, time to get rid of those dark purple tones on my eyelids. I'm going in with my concealer, a little dab, 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 and then I'm using my beauty blender to pat it all out and blend it all in. I'm going to set it with the same powder I've been using on an E27 brush, I believe, by Morphe. Now taking my Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow palette, I'm using this Morphe fan brush to highlight my cheekbones. Down the center of my nose, my forehead, and then I'm using my finger to do a little boop dot of highlight on the tip of my nose. Alright, good old MAC 224. I am taking the bronzer side and I'm running a little bit of it in the hollows of my eyes just for a little bit of something. On most days I don't go too ham on eyeshadow just because I don't have time for blending and buffing, so this is my go-to. And with a little bit of the same bronzer on a Morphe M503 brush, I'm contouring my nose just a tad, not too crazy. And you want to make sure that you connect your nose contour to the hollows of your eyes, just so it's not floating in space, looking all random. It's going to make everything look more natural. Alright, same bronzer, this time on a MAC 168. I'm going to pat, pat, pat in the hollows of my cheeks just for a little bit of bronzing, a little bit of contouring. I don't really swipe when I contour. I mostly pat. I'll do a little bit of swipe just to blend it out, but most of the time I don't want to disturb the layers of makeup I have underneath. So just some soft pats will usually do the trick. Now taking a little bit more of that bronzer into my hairline. I used to not do this, but it actually makes such a big difference in the overall look, so I highly suggest you don't miss this step. And also along the jawline, don't forget that either. Alright, now on a Morphe M405 brush, I'm going into this Morphe palette, and I'm going to very lightly graze my cheeks with a little bit of pink. Time to move on to lips. I'm lining my lips and also filling in the corners of my mouth, and I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in Foxy Brown, I believe. Now taking my Dose of Colors Velvet Lipstick in the shade My Main. This is from the DESI x KATY collection. And then also from the DESI x KATY collection, the Friendcation palette. I'm putting a little bit of light brown under my eyes just to make it look a little bit bigger. And I forget what number this brush is, but it's also from Morphe. I believe it's a smudger brush or something rather. And to be honest, you can see that I'm actually going a little bit ham on my under eyes. I normally don't go this dark, okay guys, but I don't know, something came over me. You don't gotta go this dark, you don't gotta look like a raccoon, just a little bit of shadow will do. Don't forget your inner corners. I'm using Prosecco Pop by BECCA and an e.l.f. concealer brush. Alright, that's it. All I did was I added some mascara and I curled my lashes. I had no time to film a proper outro, so this is it because Celestine woke up. Alright, bye guys!